My mother told everyone I'd either become a surgeon or a serial killer, but what I really wanted to be was a star. And since high school, I'd been trying desperately, attending audition after audition. But this week was another failure added to the pile. You know, it was always the same thing. Something about my stare that was too intense, or my smile that looked like I was plotting revenge, or my unsettling energy that drove them away. But it was just a resting beach face, something I inherited from my dad's side. But honestly, what hurt more than the audition rejections was the way my parents treated me every time. Acting is a nice hobby, but that's all it should be. A hobby, Dad told me while he read through his medical journal. Mom handed me another medical school brochure. You need a stable future, Mom insisted. But no, after all these years, I couldn't just give up, and thank God I didn't. The next audition was for a quirky best friend in a rom-com film. I'd practiced my fun, supportive friend laugh in the mirror until my face hurt. And you know what? I nailed the lines. Every single one. But the problem wasn't the lines or the acting. It was my face. The director looked at me with a pained expression and apologized as he handed me an instant no. I fought back tears and nodded. Thank you for your time. I walked out, throwing the script into the trash can. Hey, wait up, a guy called out, rushing over with a large stack of scripts. You know they're casting for a horror film next door? You should go for it. Ouch. A horror film? I kept walking. I'm serious, he yelled. I saw your audition. The way you said I love you made my skin crawl. I spun around, ready to tell him exactly where he could shove his opinion. But he was smiling. Not mean, but excited, with his eyes beaming like a golden retriever's. I write horror scripts for a living, and I honestly think you'd be perfect. And this is a compliment, trust me. He fumbled with his scripts and handed me a card. Jeremy, assistant to the director. I waved the card around and thanked him before heading home. That same night, my parents approached me after hearing about another failed audition. You're 21 now, Mom said. Med school takes 10 years. You need to stop chasing fantasies. We've supported you enough. Now it's time to face reality. You're not like those other actresses. You never will be, Dad added coldly. When they left my room, I started ripping down the posters and reading through the medical school brochures, ready to finally give up, until I saw Jeremy's card again and thought maybe just one last shot. The horror audition wanted me to play a stalker ex-girlfriend. Same line that failed yesterday. I love you. That's it. 3 words. But this time, I didn't try to soften my stare. Didn't force a normal smile. I just said it. The director stood up clapping. That's genuinely terrifying. Can you do it again but make it even creepier? I did. And for the first time in 5 years, I walked out with a yes. I told my parents about it and they were even more disappointed. Horror films? That's not even real acting. It's just screaming and fake blood. Mom gasped. This is a mistake, Dad said. But I showed up to set anyway. And honestly, it was like finally exhaling after holding my breath for years. Nobody asked me to tone it down. I knew you'd be a natural, Jeremy grinned, handing me a bottle of water. Natural at looking possessed? I grinned back. Jeremy laughed. At the end of filming, the director walked over with a new offer for me. The villain role. The lead. My jaw dropped. My first big role. I pulled out my phone to call my parents but stopped, remembering their last reaction. So I hit it. For weeks, I practiced on the lines with Jeremy secretly at coffee shops, and showing up to set after lying to my parents about visiting a college campus instead. However, like all secrets, it caught up quickly. My parents showed up to set uninvited while I was covered in fake blood, laughing over a corpse prop. This is disgraceful, Mom announced, rushing onto set to grab me. Mom, stop, please, I begged. You lied to us and embarrassed us with these childish movies. I felt tears sting my eyes. But I have the lead role. The only lead role you play is a disappointing child in our family, Dad yelled. Jeremy stepped between us. Your daughter is not a disappointment. She's talented and hardworking. Maybe watch her work before you judge. The director called me back onto set and started another take immediately. I took in a deep breath and gave my best performance, each scream more pained than the last. I don't know what they saw. Maybe it was the crew's silence during my monologue. Maybe it was Sarah saying perfect after each take. Maybe it was seeing me not shrinking myself for once. But they stayed to watch quietly the rest of the day. At the premiere, my parents showed up unexpectedly in their formal clothes, cheering for me from the carpet. Jeremy took my hand before the screening. I have one more role for you if you're interested. He cupped my chin. It's a romance one. Only if you're interested. I grinned. Only if you're the main lead. We kissed right there with cameras flashing. Walking into the theater, I thought about what Mom had said all those years ago. I guess in the end, I did become a killer, but only in movies. And I also became a star.